Eye contact and childhood trauma. Hmm. Where's this woman going with this one? People might be saying out there. What's eye contact got to do with childhood trauma? You might ask. Hello, guys. I am Toyin Okunuga. I'm the CEO of Hush to Roar. And today is day 25 of my 30-day challenge, which is to do childhood trauma, releasing your inner child. Along the way, I started with talking about what ACEs were, that's adverse childhood experiences. I said why I am the best person to talk to you about this. I went into how adverse childhood experiences affect the brain. I've gone so far as saying we need to be confident, but we need to heal first. And I've gone through so many themes along the way. And here we are, day 25. Eye contact, childhood trauma. But I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this. It's to do with confidence, it's to do with shame, it's to do with not knowing that not maintaining eye contact with someone might have something to do with an experience a child is going through, or indeed has actually gone into now being an adult and still not being able to maintain eye contact. Why do I think I know this? Well, been there, done that, got the hat and certificate. That was me. Even as recently as 5 years ago, there were times where I couldn't maintain eye contact. And actually, someone mentioned it to me and said, "Oh, I knew you won't be able to look at me in the eye." And that was several years back, even maybe 10 years. And I thought, that is true, I never really maintain eye contact. Why is that? And because I'd already started on my journey of research into several things that were happening, I started to research into eye contact. I was like an avid, me and Google. I bet Google would be like, "Come on, Toyin, that's enough. You've researched this already." I would just Google everything and anything. I know with Google, they come up with all sorts. But I went to specific sites that were very reliable. And that's where I saw eye contact and childhood trauma. So there's a little bit of, how should I say, not so much discrepancy, but there are differences in culture and what eye contact really is or what it should be. So where my parents are from, which is Nigeria, as a child, maintaining eye contact can be seen as being too bold, being right up there, and that you should not, you should just look down. In the Western world, where I am right now, if you don't look someone right in the eye, it means you're telling a fib or you are not, there's something fishy going on. So there's that cultural difference anyway when it comes to eye contact. However, it goes deeper if you don't maintain eye contact as a child and you're always crouched in and you can't look someone in the eye, especially if it's the person that has abused you as a child. It's almost certain that you don't want to look that person in the eye. And that was certainly my case as a child growing up. And I didn't quite get it. But of course, as I was growing up, I was realizing that it wasn't just the person that had done something to me that I couldn't maintain eye contact with. It was also other people. And I was thinking, I had that self-confidence within me, but it wasn't shining through the way I thought it would and the way people thought I was. Because a lot of people really thought that, oh, Tony's very confident in that. But people who really knew me, knew that I can't quite figure this girl out. And it was that eye contact. So where am I going with this? Well, today it's not going to be too long, but I just want us to start being more intentional and deliberate about looking at children. So today it's more about children. Everything really is about children, but then of course it advances into adults. So I think today I just want to talk to you guys about observing children and how confident or not so confident they are. So before the trauma, I would take you through how as a child should really be in terms of their confidence, in terms of their self-worth, in terms of the nurture versus nature, and how it all pans out within children. Children have no fear in the world, as you know. It's only as we're growing up that we start to see our environment in a different way, that we start to change according to our environment, and those environmental features rather, they influence how we become as an adult. So that was the beginning. For me, it's just so poignant that I knew how the child was in a confident way, and then how a child becomes if their environment has a huge influence on their upbringing. So, guys, I'm the perfect person to talk to. So that is that, the download for the before the trauma. And then if you want to see how our brain and how the environment works on us as children, you'll see how my childhood trauma began and how everything that was lovely started to have a twist and, turn. And of course I'll still be normal because you just get on with life. That it's like that, isn't it? You just go on, you get on. So that is the link to childhood trauma and how I know that eye contact at that level was almost dropping. My self-worth was dropping because of some experiences that were going on. So, as I said, today is really about us adults looking at children and trying to see how we can figure them out sometimes. I'm not saying you should walk around. We don't all need to go walk around and start looking, oh, is that boy or girl looking a bit upset? I wonder what's going on there. Could be they didn't give them some ice cream or a sweet or, anything. But when it's prolonged and you just notice on the way to work, there's some people that would see children, specific children, going by our routine every day. And you might just see that child every day looking, a bit subdued or upset. Oh, just of course we don't want to be nosy into other people's business, but we can have different ways of figuring things out. That's certainly what I would encourage, because when people don't maintain eye contact with you, as I said, there is a cultural difference, but then there's also something that goes deeper, that when the eye contact is just not there at all, what is that child hiding? Do you think there's something that's a bit more than that meets the eye that's not being contacted directly? And what I can say is that if that eye contact does not remain and it proceeds and that abuse continues as an adult, it can become something almost toxic. Because like myself, I know, as I said, even up to maybe 5 years or 10, 7, around that, I still didn't maintain full eye contact with people, even though the confidence was there trying to get out. Because of my experience in life, it made me feel not so confident. As if, I think for me, how I can explain it, because I've gone through it, is I always thought people could see through me and they could see me and they knew me, they knew my story, and I was ashamed of it. But now, no, I'm not anymore. So yeah, guys, that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. Saying the way we can now get our power back is to gain confidence, but healing is a great deal. And that is identifying, but recognizing and accepting that what did happen to you did indeed happen, but that was in the past. This is now. I'm going to be present, and I'm no longer going to be ashamed of looking that person in the eye. But it takes a great deal of healing. You might even need to see a therapist or medical practitioner. And don't be ashamed to do that, because we all deserve to live the life that we have been put on earth to live. So yes, seek help, and then start practicing with looking at people bit by bit, little by little, to gain your confidence back. But self-care is key, because when you look good and you feel good and you know, yes, you don't need anything out there to give you the joy, there's no way you won't look at that person in the eye, because why won't you? You feel confident, you're healed, you're forgiven, you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to protect, you've got nothing to defend, you've got nothing to prove. I'm going to show you that I can watch you, I can look at you in the eye. I'm not ashamed of anything. So that's how it comes back. That's why eye contact is very, very key when it comes to childhood trauma. It's linked to childhood trauma. But as I mentioned earlier on, when it comes to cultural differences, where my parents were from, which is Nigeria, the cultural aspect there is you mustn't look at an adult in the eye. It means you're bold and you're rude. Whereas in the Western world, If you don't look someone right in the eye, it means you're hiding something. So there's that discrepancy about eye contact. But you can sort of figure that out and know that the reason why this person's result maintaining eye contact might be a little bit different to that. And saying that in order to start maintaining eye contact, we need to heal, we need to look after ourselves, we need to be confident and know that everything we need is within us. We don't need that joy. Joy comes from within. Pleasure comes from outside and it can be stripped away at any time. But when you've got joy, you're full. You don't need anything out there. You can look at that person in the eye and say, hello, how are you? And feel no fear. But you heal first. Self-love is key.